Yo, what up, guys? Listen, man, today we're going to talk about interest rates. We're going to talk about interest rates because, number one, it is the cost of money. Number two, it is tax season. A lot of people are getting their tax refund check back. And one of the main things we always want to get is new credit cards, new cars, new houses, right? So I want to discuss with you guys what is considered a good interest rate, right? You always hear people talk all the time about good interest rates, bad interest rates, high interest rates. If you have this interest rate, you shouldn't get a car. If you have this interest rate. So let's just go over a couple simple numbers, right? And we're going to start with credit cards. We're going to start with credit cards because credit cards is borrowed money and they have interest rates, right? The cost of borrowing that money. Now, if you have a credit card right now, and this may depend on your situation. If you are a new beginner, starter, this is your first credit card, you may have gotten your first credit card with a high interest rate, alright? So I just want to tell you guys for future references, when you are looking to get a credit card, we want to make sure that a pretty good interest rate is anything below 14%. Anything below 14%. Now, let me say this because I told you guys this in another video. A lot of credit card companies offer a zero introductory APR. So 0% APR for introductory customers. And APR is the annual percentage rate. So 0%, no cost to it for the first year. A lot of credit card companies use this to reel in new clients by offering them 0% on any type of annual percentage rate whatsoever, right? Now, if you are not in this position, if you do not receive this type of offer, then you want to make sure that your credit card is below 14%, somewhere within that range, right? When we start to get up into the 20%, 21, 22%, is when our interest rates start to get much higher, which means that any money we owe, any balance that we carry, right? So any balance that you carry will cost you on that borrowed money. So if that interest rate is 20%, it's going to cost you 20%, right? Auto loans, auto loans, auto loans. And I will say this because what happens, man, is tax season. We get excited. We want to get a new car. Maybe the old car is not running so well, and we just want to jump in there, spend all of our money, and get that car. But for auto loans, man, for used cars, we want to get a rate at about 5%. A 5% is a good interest rate. Now remember, our credit rating will play a factor, right? When you're getting offered credit cards, they're looking at your credit rating to determine, what they want to charge you. Auto loans, you want to stay at 5%. And if you're getting a new car, you're getting a Benz, you're getting a Tesla, you're getting something new and fresh, you want to be at least around 9%, right? 9.34%. Now, understand this. The higher our interest rates go up. This is the whole point in us talking about this. The higher interest rates go up, the more we pay and the longer it takes us to pay off. So thirdly, guys, is mortgages, right? We talk a lot about the down payment. We talk a lot about making sure that we have the funds that we need in order to get in a property. Now, mortgage rates, since COVID has now went back up, right? When COVID first started, the banks was giving out mortgages for about 2.8%, 2.9%, 3%. That is considered a very low interest rate to borrow money for a property, right? So around COVID, let's say we was at like a 2.9, we was at a 2.93. Now interest rates has went up in the housing market. If you have been paying attention to the housing markets, now we're seeing mortgages around 4.5% or around 5%, right? Great Recession, mortgages at one point had got to 9%. Had got to 9%. So if we think about this number during COVID, when we was at like 3%, 3.5, 2.9, that was a really low number, right? So now we went up maybe about a point and a half. So right now in 2023, if you could get a mortgage at 4.5, 4.6, 4.8, 5%, that is still considered a good interest rate, right? Now this is super important because depending on your spending power when it comes to credit card, you're responsible for thousands in debt, right? You're responsible for thousands. If you get an auto loan for 20, 30K, you're responsible for thousands in debt. This is why we talk about the interest rates, because a lot of times what we cannot see up front, what we cannot see right away, we think don't exist. Don't think it don't exist. Don't think that these numbers are just numbers on a piece of paper. These numbers matter. These numbers affect your pocket. These numbers affect your daily budgeting, right? Because maybe if you just shift, you went from having no car to having a car, that just increased your monthly expenses. You went from having no mortgage to having a mortgage.